Hello, I'm Sensei Alex Kakuyo, North American Correspondent for Buddhistdoor Global. Thanks for joining me for this episode of The Ordinary Buddhist. The title of today's talk is A Rabbit Hutch of Happiness. Before we get into that, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I post talks in the future. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that'd be great too. We recently invited 2 new members to the family here at the homestead. We have rabbits now, named Oleander and Belladonna. So we brought them home and they're currently living in a hutch that I built for them. And the hutch is in the barn right now while it's still a little bit cold outside. We want to make sure they're warm, but once the weather is nicer, their rabbit hutch will be moved to our garden area. And they'll also have a rabbit tractor, which they'll be on fresh grass about 4 or 5 hours a day. And the tractor will allow them to hop around and enjoy the sunshine and the grass, all while still being protected from predators. Get out of the hutch, stretch out their rabbit legs a little bit. What's even better is that rabbit manure, it turns out, is incredibly good fertilizer for a garden. It's very high in nitrogen and phosphorus, which are 2 things that plants need. So the rabbits get a nice home to live in, we get fertilizer for our vegetables. Everyone wins. What's interesting, however, is that when I was building their hutch and their rabbit tractor, I realized I had to be very intentional, very purposeful, not just in how the hutch was built, but also what went inside it. I needed to ensure that they had plenty of room to hop around in. I had to ensure that it was built in a sturdy way so it wouldn't break, that it would keep out predators that would want to keep them or cause them harm. In addition to that, I had to make sure that the things inside the hutch were healthy for them. So I had to put in lots of straw, about 2 or 3 inches of it, in fact, to ensure that they had soft padding for their feet. I had to put in plenty of hay and rabbit pellets, and I would change out their water several times a day. And in turn, with me being intentional and purposeful about both their living area and their food, the rabbits are healthy. Our lives are a lot like rabbit hutches. Now, the world will tell us a lot of things about what we should and shouldn't do, and we may just do things in the moment because they feel good without thinking about them very much. But if we want a happy life, if we want a satisfying and fulfilling life, we have to be very intentional and very purposeful, not only about how our life is built, but what we invite into our lives. And this isn't a hard, complicated process. The Buddha Dharma gives us lots of tools that allow us to do this. With meditation and chanting and sutra study, we can figure out what's healthy for us and what's not based on 2,600 years of wisdom passed down to us by our Buddhist ancestors. In addition to that, we can go off our own wisdom and our own life experiences to determine what media do I want to consume? What do I want to do for a living? What kind of people do I want to interact with? What do I want to invite into the rabbit hutch of my life? And do I know whether or not those things are healthy for me? Will they support my happiness? Or will they destroy it? If we build our lives in the same way that a homesteader or a farmer builds a rabbit hutch, if we are careful, purposeful, and intentional about not only how our life is built, but what we invite into our lives, then we will end suffering not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us as well. Amitabha.